Hello, my name's Denise Yates. I'm a personal trainer and a sports coach, and I am particularly passionate about making sure that people can be fit and strong for life. We start to lose our lean muscle mass at a rate of between 3 and 8% from the age of 30. So we really need to think about keeping that in check, and whether that can be sort of small body weight movements or banded exercises. I'm going to show you a series of a few things that can really help hold on to that muscle mass. It is so important. It's what protects our bones, which of course also can start to lose density as we age. So we really need to hold on to that lean muscle mass as much as we can. So these short exercises are things that you can do at home, incorporate into your day, and you can break down. This video has got little sections on it, whether it's lower body or upper body. So you can pause it, you could go back to different bits of it, depending on what time you have. Time is so precious. And so what we can use here is simply a chair and some things that you might have at home. So you can have some water bottles or some cans. Oh, these are nice and cold out of the fridge, maybe not the best idea. And then a band. Now, this is a resistance band that's got handles on it. Some of you might have a stretchy band, it doesn't need to have handles on it. Also, what works well is a pair of old tights or an inner tube from a bike, or any sort of something that's stretchy will work well for you. So let's get started first of all with just a little bit of a warm up. Important, whatever you're doing when you're doing some sort of strength training, just to warm the muscles up, just get used to it. So we're just going to start by simply doing some marching on the spot. Just really being quite mindful, keeping the breathing nice and steady, just getting our heart rate up just a little bit. So say most of this will be done from the chair, but we just want to sort of warm up in place like this to start with. Then we can start to do some just little steps to the side, warming up the muscles and the inner and outer thighs a little bit. Then go back to our marching. Just do this for a little while. And then what we're going to do is once we've got the lower body nice and warm, the heart rate up just a little bit, a few more of those side steps, is we're going to warm up the arms. So what we're going to do is take your arms out to our shoulder height. I'm just going to start doing small circles. So you're not hunching up your shoulders, just keeping them nice and low like that. Nice, relaxed, nice straight spine. Circling our shoulders like this, circling our arms, and then changing the direction, circling them back the way. And you can start to gradually make those circles a bit bigger, depending on your range of motion. The main thing is just to warm them up, so that can be quite a small movement. Then we want to warm up the shoulders and the neck a little bit. So we just want to gently take the head over to one side. Now you can resist against it a little bit, but what you don't want to be doing is pulling that, just gently. Just feeling a nice stretch down the neck into the shoulder, and then over to the other side, just gently. And again, you can put a little bit of resistance in, but not a lot. You'll feel that stretch already. Particularly if we're sitting a lot as well and working at desks or anything like this, this can get really quite stiff. Then you just want to look up to the ceiling, look down again, up and down. Just till you're looking over one shoulder, over the other. Go back to those little arm circles, forward, might make them a bit bigger, and backwards. And we can open and close the arms a little bit as well, just across a little pre-workout hug. Make sure the heart just hasn't dropped too much, just get a little bit of a march back on. Ready, get your chair, get your band, your bottles, your cans, whatever you're going to use, and let's get going. So we're going to start with something quite simple, heel and toe raises. Nice flat back against the back of the chair, feet flat on the floor, and then you're going to lift up your heels and drop. Lift up your heels and drop. Make sure you keep nice regular breathing. You're just warming up the calves. Heels up, heels drop. Keep the core engaged, really important. Protect the back at all times. Every exercise we do, keep that nice and strong, nice straight spine in alignment with the chair. Going to do about 10 or 15 of those. You should still feel a little bit of warming up in the backs of the calves. Then you're going to change that motion. You're going to lift your toes. You might not have a big range of motion in your feet, so it's a good one just as it works the lower legs in a different way. So pulling the toes up towards you. Again, nice strong core, back nice and aligned against the chair. And again, you aim to do about 10 to 15 of these. Again, you could talk. It's important when you're doing these exercises that you could still be able to hold a conversation. It's not that difficult. So actually speaking is encouraged as well. And like I'm doing when I'm turning towards you, keep your eyes nice and straight in front of you. Little calf warm up there. For this next exercise, it's a leg extension. We're going to be working on the legs and these big strong muscles in our quads and in the backs of our legs as well, the hamstrings and the glutes. So for this first one, it's a leg extension. I'm for this one using one of these bands. These are really quite easy to come by, but also you can, again, use whatever band you have and tie a knot in it. What you want to do is get the resistance right for you. So you put it under one foot and put the other foot in. Now both feet again are flat on the floor, but what you're going to do is take one leg. So I'm taking my right, I'm going to brace my core, I'm going to lift that leg up. Now the band will start to slip onto your ankle, that's fine. It'll find its natural place. Keep the other foot planted on the floor to keep that band in place. And see what I'm doing? I'm lifting up so you'll be able to see it's in line with my knee. You can see the sole of my foot there. Hopefully you don't have dirty feet. Lifting that up. So again, breathing out on the effort. And you should feel that down the front of your thigh there and in on the return. Breathing out and breathing in. And again, you would aim to do about 10 to 15 each side. So I'm just demonstrating it just now. I will change over. So I've just stepped that foot into the band. I'm going to take this one up. And again, it will start to slip to the ankle. And again, same thing again, keeping that spine nice and long, in contact with the back of the chair. And up and back. And you really feel that tension. You feel this burn. This is a great muscle. It's helped stabilize the knee as well, the quad. So really important to work this strong quad muscle at the front of our thighs here. You should really feel that. If you can't get up that far, just as far as really adjust the tension to your band would be the answer there. You want to feel that it's enough of a challenge, but you're not really sort of struggling and leg shaking. Okay, and again, 10 to 15 on the other side. Now we're going to keep our band, this one, and we're going to put it above our knees here. So again, if you've looped it, you've tied a knot in it or whatever, we're going to put this above the knees and we're going to work on a different part of the leg. We're going to work on this outer muscle, the side of the thigh here. So again, you're going to keep your feet against the flat on the floor, but you're going to work to move those knees apart. Now it's really important here again you keep your core engaged because you can see sometimes this sort of tension pulls you away from the back of the chair. Find that your soles of your feet can come off the floor here as they will need to just sort of allow that movement. You're really just sort of squeezing that out. So the soles of the feet will be coming out like this, keeping that core nice and strong again. And again, you should feel this down the sides of the thighs here. Or you might need to adjust it a little bit and move it a little bit further again, or tighten your band just to make sure you feel that movement there. And there we go. And again, 10 to 15 reps. I can't do an exercise routine without talking about the wall sit. Okay, so we're not sitting on a chair for this one, but it's such a good one for strengthening these quad muscles as well, and our glutes, which, very important big muscle in our bum here. So just try this one. It's your sort of, whatever challenge is for you, is just take yourself towards the wall, get your back nice and flat against it, and then move your back down the wall until you are in a position like you're sitting on a chair. It looks so easy, doesn't it? The thing is, again, keeping that core nice and strong, it's a really good one to challenge the thighs, and a great one that physios recommend for anyone with knee problems to strengthen these muscles. With a wall sit or a ski sit, and you hold it for as long as you can. Keep regular breathing, keep your core engaged. Give it a go. We're back on our chair for this one. I'm going to demonstrate just quite a simple bicep curl. So again, bottles of water, or cans, or if you've got small weights, and really just what you want to do here is keep your core engaged, back against the back of the chair, and you're getting that message from now, aren't you? And really just have your elbows tucked in towards your rib cage, so you don't want to have your elbows flaring out here. Nice relaxed shoulders. We're working on this muscle, the bicep down the front of the arm here. So great if you're having to carry lots of things, lift and carry things, to keep this one sort of active as well. So you'd start bottles and then have your arms like you've got a 90-degree elbow in your bend in your elbow there, and it's against your thing. Then turn, you want your palms facing up the way, and you're breathing out as you lift them up, in as you return. And again, you don't need to go right down here, you just need to straighten back to about 90 degrees. So you're keeping that tension in your arms all times. And again, we're not lifting our shoulders up or scrunching, we're just kind of keeping that, breathing out and breathing in, breathing out and breathing in. Now, while we've got our bottles, I can demonstrate another exercise, which is going to work our shoulders, the overhead press. So this time you're going to have them in your hands, but you're going to turn your palms facing forward. Now you're going to keep your back, again, nice and flat against the chair. You're going to have your core engaged, but you're going to keep those, like the bottles should be then sort of up. Hands aren't dropping down like this. You're going to bring them up. So these bottles are nice and lined, and almost the tops of the bottles are touching my shoulders. And then you're going to lift up and press them together at the top, almost like knocking them together. So you don't want to bring your arms too far forward. Again, keeping them in that nice plane, as if you've got two panes of glass you're working, you're between the upper bodies, between two panes of glass, keeping that nice plane of motion up and down. It works into the shoulders, into the muscles of the upper back. This is also one that we can do with our band. So I have put the band under the chair here. And again, it's just about finding your resistance. Now you want to make sure that that's quite close to the back of the band, be quite close to underneath where your bum is on the chair. So that again, your wrists and forearms are nice and straight. And again, not tipping forward, but you've got these hands. You could, if you looked outside of your eyes there, you can just see that everything's in line. Palm, hand is in line with the arm and the shoulder. And then we're going to, again, breathe out, press up, in and return. Out, press up, in and return. Out and press up. And again, for all of these moves, aim to do about 10 to 15. So adjust your weight accordingly so that you can do 10 to 15 repetitions. If it's too easy and you can do 20, then you need to increase your resistance, tighten your band a bit, or increase your weights. Or if you can't do that many, then you maybe need to ease it off a little bit. Overhead press. Now, another one we're going to do with the bottles or our cans again is a lateral raise. So different motion again. First of all, I'm sitting with them straight in front of me. Now what we're going to do is drop my shoulders by my sides. So again, everything's in line. We haven't got our hands forward. We haven't got tension in our arms at this point. We're just letting them hang. But what we're going to do is lift our arms out to the side. And back again, as with everything. Core nice and strong. Back flat against the chair. Breathe out. Now you can have a slight bend in your elbows. That can help as well. You should feel it into the tops of your shoulders again and into the big sort of muscles, lat muscles in your back. And return. And again, if you prefer or you don't think you've got something heavy enough to do this with, you can use your band. This one would be like this. And down again. But you'd have to try and keep the tension in that band. So this is a little bit loose for me. I'd need to tighten up. And what you want to be aware of as well is that one arm isn't going higher than the other. We've got a more dominant side, so keep an eye on that. If you can do these in front of a mirror, even better. Now, another one we can do with the band is take it out from under the chair. I want to loop it around the back. You want to get it so it's about bust height. Now this band again might be a little bit loose, so you want to make sure that you've got a good bit of tension in it, because you're going to start with your hands here and you're going to be pressing as if you're doing a press up movement, pressing forward. So just adjust that. Better to have the hands, so hands over the handles like that. Pressing it out to the straight and back again. So this one, breathing out and breathing back in, you should feel it into the chest muscles here. So you can do these as a good one to do is also to do yourself almost like a press up against a wall. So just lean your hands against a wall and let your body fall into it. So it's that movement that you're doing really. We've worked some of the back muscles and the shoulder, and this is just to sort of work the front of the chest there. And again, 10 to 15 repetitions. And this, as I say, this band is a little bit loose. I need to have a bit more tension in it so that when I'm back here, you don't bring your arms all the way back, but back to about in line with your elbow should be back in line with your chest, and then press again, but you should feel like you've got a bit of tension in the band the whole time. Now we're going to finish with some core exercises. So again, we've been keeping this engaged the whole time through. You've heard me talking about keeping this core nice and tight. So important to make sure that it is strong. So some simple things you can do in a seat which engage your core are, again, nice flat back. It's just simply lifting your knee up, but really thinking about the core muscles driving that movement. Breathing out, so lift the knee up, in as we return. Out as we lift the knee up, in as we return. So that's quite a nice simple one, but quite effective as well. It's like the same, you're seeing people doing this on the ground, basically doing a crunch in with their knees. It's the same movement. So you're basically, and each time I'm taking my foot down, which you can't see, I'm just letting it go back down onto my toes there. So I'm kind of keeping the movement quite active. And really, you're really important to think about keeping that lower back particularly pressed against the chair. Then you can finish off by doing some work on the sides of the stomach by just crossing here and just gently twisting the torso. Now I've got my back away from the chair, just give myself a bit more space. And I'm just twisting the torso. Be careful of this one if you have osteoporosis. Certain movements of the spine, excessive twisting of the spine isn't good. So always talk to your GP. But this one is good just to kind of engage some of these muscles down the side of the obliques. Okay, why not? Let's get a little bit stretched off and cool down. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. We just sort of stretch off and cool down by, first of all, just gently kind of leaning forward, getting a stretch into our lower back. Now, what I'm doing is my back is keeping a nice straight line doing this, lean forward. So we're not rounding our back when we're doing this stretch. So you want to keep feet nice and rooted on the floor, and you want to just have your hands on your knees perhaps, and just let the body hinge forward, so not rounding the back. You just want to stretch off that lower back a little bit. Do a few of those, just a little bit of a slow movement. Pull us down. Then to stretch off the shoulders, which we've worked quite a lot of, we want to take one arm out across our chest. So we don't want to excessively twist. What we're trying to do is get it across our chest like this, and then above the elbow, just gently press that towards you. So we're not squeezing it at the elbow there, we're just, because we're trying to stretch across this into this muscle of the shoulder here. And then change sides. There we go, nice. Again, above the elbow there. And again, core is engaged throughout all of this, even when we're stretching off. Here we go. And then just nice, gentle rolls around the shoulders. And just wiggle off the legs. Give them a little bit of a shake, just to sort of relax them off. And some slight engagement. See how that is, and wriggle off the toes and the feet. I hope you've enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, give me a message. I am on www.deniseyates.co.uk. That's DENISEYEATS, as spelled on the little banner there, .co.uk.